So today's video is going to be a bit of another supercut. This is episodes 11 through 20, and yeah, hopefully y'all enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And let's get right on to the show. Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of a new Trekkie. My 5-year mission to search out Star Trek media, to seek out our fans and merchandise, to boldly go where no fan has gone before. Yes, I know this isn't Star Trek, but, greetings, salutations, how's everybody doing? So today, we're going to be talking about something that is probably, I'm not really sure, but probably not giving us a ton of, probably say, appreciation, is commercials. And in this case, we're talking about commercials regarding Star Trek. And not just any kind, we're talking about the top 10 Star Trek commercials. And in this case, it's going to be top, ranging from products one can buy, or ads, or heck, even at sometimes there'll be actors from the show that would be in the franchise, and then in the commercials, and then looks like we're selling you something.
Logical.
So we're gonna talk about the top 10 Star Trek commercials. Let's get right into it.
Hey, do you guys have any Star Trek 5 tapes left?
Where is the Star Trek 5 video?
You got Star Trek 5, The Final Frontier?
Please. Any Star Trek 5s?
Ooh, thank you.
Great.
Thanks.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Oh, thank goodness.
Would you happen to have Star Trek 5?
Yes, sir.
Star Trek 5, The Final Frontier? So tell your dealer you want to see it.
Okay, well that one was a classic. That was Star Trek 5 on VHS. I gotta say, for humor aspect, I kind of find this one rather funny in a way. I mean, I like the tone of it, and the fact that everyone's just saying, where is, like, there's different tone to way people was asking for Star Trek 5 on VHS, and yeah, I find it kind of funny how, like, that one lady's going to say, where is your tapes of Star Trek 5? Like, she's, like, wanting to talk to someone's manager or something like that. And yeah, I mean, like, everyone's going to say, yes! Wait. The one actress I thought was like, yeah, okay. He was just, please! Okay, yeah, that was kind of funny. Yeah. And then, James Doohan showing up as Scotty, just like, do you have a Star Trek 5? And yeah. And like, yeah, I mean, which makes me think, I mean, I was only born in 92, so it makes me think, did you really have to talk to your video store provider to say, hey, do you have this movie? I mean, normally when I was growing up, I just had to, like, scan through the sections and think, pick that one up. I mean, I didn't always just, like, buy rated R movies, because, I was a young child, so, and, my parents were probably thinking, no. But, moving on.
Look over there! Wow! What is it? Star Trek card!
Just arrived. Star Trek 25th Anniversary Trading Cards. Cards from the Final Frontier.
Okay. Star Trek cards. Yeah, I mean, well, I guess every kind of science fiction property or franchise at least has had trading cards, and I think that's pretty cool. I mean, I guess like looks like the kids are pretty excited about it, and honestly, the one thing I would probably say was probably happen a lot, and most likely probably did, was like say, like like on the playground, like say everyone's having their blue card, like say, I'll give you my board card for your trying to think a board card for say a Klingon card or something. I don't know. But at the same time, they would probably say like probably someone probably have the Picard. Like someone would have a Picard, Captain Picard card, and someone would probably have a Kirk card in there. So I've got Picard and you don't. He. They probably would do that on the playground. There would probably be like there probably might be fights happening because of that. Like say who's got Picard and who doesn't. I have no idea. So yeah, I mean, is it silly? Yeah. So let's move on.
Have you ever looked up and wondered, are we really alone? Well, now you can travel the universe, meet strange new aliens, explore exotic new planets with Star Trek, the Collector's Edition. Yours for just $4.95 for your introductory video cassette. These are the original, classic TV episodes. Start now with The Menagerie, Parts 1 and 2.
Present myself to you for arrest. The charge is mutiny, Doctor. Guilty.
You get nearly 2 hours of classic entertainment. Yours for just $4.95. Then every 4 to 6 weeks, you'll receive a new video cassette.
It's killing the captain. Shoot it, Doctor, quickly.
Each contains 2 exciting episodes for a 10-day risk-free preview. So call now and explore the universe with Star Trek, the Collector's Edition. Yours for just $4.95 exclusively from the CBS Video Library. Credit card customers call today. Positively no CODs. Call now.
So, yeah, Star Trek, the OG series collectors on VHS. I mean, I think this one was kind of exciting in a way, and the fact that, it kind of shows, like, say, if you're born in that area, it kind of shows, like, clips from the show and all that, and, which is pretty cool. I mean, plus, if I was growing up in that time period when this came out, I think that would be pretty cool, and honestly. I mean, I always loved it when on TV, when it said, like, the little Shirley Temple, VHS or DVD collection, yeah. And yeah, it probably had that about nostalgia. Probably people who grew up with this one probably thought, oh yeah, there's that killer Star Trek VHS collector's tape. They probably thought that too. I mean, it's probably cool that you get a book that comes with it that talks about the series in general. So yeah, there's that. I mean, is it like say? It's pretty kind of cool. It's more kind of informative, I suppose. But, moving on.
Computer subspace transmission to Starfleet Command from Enterprise. Stardate 45481.4. It's a single blast. Source unknown. Lieutenant Worf checks weapon systems. Captain Picard orders full shields from Lieutenant LaForge in engineering. Suddenly there is an alien presence on the ship. It's one of the Borg, a hostile robotic life form. Commander Riker returns phaser fire.
Star Trek, the Next Generation action figures from Playmates.
Okay, this one was kind of cool. Star Trek, the Next Generation action figures from Playmates. I gotta say, this one was a pretty cool ad, especially for kids. And that, it's, kids playing with, like, Star Trek toys, action figures. And, yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool, like, the way they're using the toys and all that, or action figures. And yeah, I know some people are gonna be kind of upset with me constantly saying, like, toys or something like that, it's an action figure. But I think it's, in my head, I like to think that it was probably a Borg child playing with these toys because he's just going through his fantasies of probably meeting the Star Trek crew and just like wanting to join them instead of, you know, assimilating all the members of the Enterprise. But yeah, not really much to say I can really say about this one. So moving on.
Kevin, this is Scott. Kevin, this is Scott. Do you hear me? Over now.
The Star Trek communicators with push-to-talk button.
Scott, this is Kevin. My bike is broken. Can you help me? Over. Yes, but send me a signal so I can find you.
Star Trek communicators with a range of 1,300 feet. Push button, twin warp sound, uses 1 9-volt battery, not included. Star Trek communicators with belt hook, telescoping antenna, and twin warp sound from Ego.
The Star Trek toy communicator. This one was kind of charming, and that I liked the way it looked almost like you're watching. It almost looks like you're watching like a Leave It to Beaver, like, you know, like how, like, say today you'd have ads for products in a TV show. That's probably what would have happened, like, if they actually done that in probably the 60s, and, like, say Leave It to Beaver or something like that. That would have been that's probably something they would have done, like, say, like, they'd have like a commercial like Star Trek toy, and then I haven't really ever watched Leave It to Beaver. I just know about it, honestly. And yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool, but at the same time, it's a walkie-talkie. I mean, it's a pretty cool looking walkie-talkie, and it's like Star Trek communicator. But yeah, it's a walkie-talkie, and it looks pretty cool. I mean, probably that time, that era is probably like, well, this is probably better than the can of soup and the long string. Okay, next.
Presenting McDonald's Star Trek meal. Parents, take a good look. It's the only meal approved for your kids by the United Federation of Planets. Outside, the Enterprise, action, intrigue. 5 exciting boxes based on Star Trek, the motion picture. Inside, a regular hamburger, fries, soft drinks, a McDonald's and cookie sampler, and a Star Trek prize. Star Trek meal, games, jokes, puzzles. Your kids will love them. McDonald's Star Trek meal.
Star Trek McDonald's meals. What can I say about this one? I mean, I like the animation stuff. What I think is pretty cool. If I was born in this era, I'd probably say I want to go to McDonald's. I mean, I want to get the Star Trek toy. That would probably would have been my thought, in honesty. I kind of miss ads like these, and the fact that, you know, I like the animation, I like the voiceover and all that stuff. I think it's pretty cool. Well, yeah, I mean, it's more subdued instead of, like, you know, over the top. And it's not, it's just like, say, here's our product. It's Star Trek, and it's a toy from McDonald's and all that stuff. And yeah, it's just like a animated, like, hand drawn and all that. So, which I think is pretty cool. Or I had probably say it's either hand drawn or probably a cell animation. But yeah, I think it's been pretty cool, honestly. So, moving on.
Chief Engineer's Log, Stardate 8609.8. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Aye, those were grand adventures. Hi, I'm James Doohan. Scott. You know, it's been 20 years since Star Trek first aired, and to this day, the Star Trek saga still captures the imagination of millions of fans all over the world. The adventure continues. And to commemorate the 20th anniversary of Star Trek, I'm very pleased to present the first ever series of Star Trek collector plates featuring the key members of the Starship Enterprise crew. On the first plate is my illustrious friend, Mr. Spock. Now, it captures all of Mr. Spock's superior intelligence and calm demeanor. A remarkable likeness, I would say. Under an exclusive license from Paramount Pictures, Mr. Spock is available only through Ernst Enterprises in association with the Hamilton Collection. Right now, the Mr. Spock plate can be yours for only $29.50. Now, enjoy this plate for a full month and risk nothing, because the Hamilton Collection guarantees they'll buy back your plate at the original price if you're not satisfied. And through this special TV offer with your paid order, you'll also receive a free 6-month membership in the official Star Trek fan club. You'll be sent free the club's bi-monthly magazine and newsletter, plus lots more. So beam aboard and join us in celebrating the 20th anniversary of Star Trek. To order Mr. Spock and get your free membership, here's all you do.
Really? Okay, sure, we'll talk about it. Star Trek collector's plates. Yeah, I mean, I've seen this idea of, like, say, properties or franchises having, say, the collector's edition plates and all that. And I think that's pretty cool. Yet at the same time, I know what is going to be this used for. This is going to be, like, put in a cabinet, and then it's going to be just displayed for everyone to see, like, say. And that's my, Spock Collector's Edition plate. And we don't use it, because it's supposed to be looked at and not used. And, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I mean, I just never really thought, like, it can come to a place like that. I think it's pretty cool, but at the same time, I'm feeling, like, say, I'd rather look at it, too, and then use it, but at the same time, I'm feeling like, why would I get a plate like that, and then think, like, well, it's just gonna be used to look at. It's not gonna be used to eat food off, because we don't want, the image to dissipate and all that, so just get regular plates, I guess, in honesty. But I mean, I think it's pretty cool how James Doohan, I think he's kind of charming in it, and how he's describing the Star Trek fan club as well, and all that stuff, so, yeah. And obviously, like I say, this one has my friend, Mr. Spock. And he's just like saying, yeah, if you get these, you can join the Star Trek fan club. And I bet that, like, when these came out, that's how a lot of people joined the fan club and all that. So, and perhaps so, I'm not sure. So, next one.
I'm Chris, and this is Anna with MCI. She recently started a great friends and family calling circle.
A group of friends that wanted to get back in touch.
I believe I actually said we should resume communicating.
So Anna called and I signed up.
And Chris called me. I thought if anybody belongs in friends and family, it's us.
I used to get tired of staring at those faces. Now I kind of miss them.
I joined to save the 20% because when I call him, I end up talking to an answering machine, which is more interesting than he is.
I'm usually home. I'm just selective about the calls I take.
When they were forming the circle, they obviously saved the best for last.
Oh, that's why she called me next.
Who is that?
How did you get in here?
There seems to be some error.
I believe you were in the wrong circle.
Call and start saving an extra 20% on calls to your own friends and family circle.
Every week, thousands of people join the millions who already have MCI friends and family. If you'd like to be one of them, give us a ring. After all, shouldn't your least expensive calls be to the people you care about and call all the time?
So, what we just watched was a MCI commercial. I think this one was basically, like, say, sort of like, you know how we have Skype commercials nowadays? Of, like, say, like, during this time period, I'm able to finally reach out to friends and family. Or, another example would be, say, Facebook live streaming, or, like, Facebook groups, we see those ads. Perhaps that's what it was. Instead, this was a MCI where you're able to connect with others by the phone. And I think it's kind of cool in the fact, each actor is able to say, hey, I finally got to get contact back with my fellow actors and all that. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I like the fact that it has the OG crew, and then suddenly Jonathan Frakes suddenly shows up. I apologize if I butchered his name. And I think he says, "Yeah, hey, how's everybody doing?" And everyone's gonna say, "Wait, who was this guy?" And everyone's gonna say, "Yeah, I don't think he's supposed to be here. Like he's just this young up-and-comer guy." And he's like, everyone else just like say, like everyone's just like confused, like say, "Who is he?" Like everyone else is just like, I don't know. But I think it's kind of funny. Okay, next one.
Suit, reverse thrusters.
Hailing frequencies open.
Scotty, we need more power. I can't hold it much longer, Captain.
We're losing the Colonel's signal, sir.
Well, what was Spock's order? His usual, Captain. The two-piece combo. Okay, give me a two-piece combo.
Aye, sir.
No, wait. Make it 3 pieces. Leave them up, Scotty.
Status report.
Close call, Captain. Almost lost the coleslaw on that one.
Captain's log, stardate 2453.87. The crisis was averted. Our cravings satisfied. The chicken was excellent.
Take us out of here, Mr. Sulu. Warp factor 2. Hey, who took my fries?
So yeah, Star Trek KFC. I actually kind of like this one, honestly. I actually thought the actors playing all the actors are characters was actually pretty good in the fact that they were able to get actors who were able to look similar to the original. I thought that was pretty cool and kind of, honestly. I mean, it's kind of cheesy in the fact that they have the Star Trek 60s vibe and all that, or the original OG Trek vibe and all that. So yeah, it's kind of fun. It almost feels like classic Star Trek, almost like an episode. And honestly, so that's pretty cool, honestly. And the actors in it seem to be having a lot of fun, just being silly. So before we move on to number one, I'm going to give some spotlights to some Star Trek ads that really didn't make the cut. So, enjoy.
Head for Taco Bell at warp speed and start collecting Star Trek 3 glasses. Beam home Spock. Klingon treachery. The secret of Valtrapan. And fate of the Enterprise. Star Trek 3 glasses. Only at Taco Bell. It's just made for you. Hurry and buy this week's glass. Spock lives for just 69 cents with the purchase of a large or medium soft drink at regular price.
It's the biggest thing to happen to sci-fi, ever. I love the characters. I love the aliens.
I love the special effects.
Captain Picard is my man.
What if I told you Star Trek The Next Generation is now available on video, and you could own your first 2-hour episode for just $4.95?
Full hour, right? Not just the previews?
Not just 1 hour, 2 full hours. Yours to keep for just $4.95.
Make it so.
Star Trek The Next Generation on video cassette for just $4.95? Wow.
I love this show. Just $4.95? $4.95?
How can you do that?
Many say it's the greatest science fiction series of all time. And now you can start collecting Star Trek The Next Generation on video cassette, beginning with the 2-hour series premiere, Encounter at Farpoint. Yours for just $4.95. Start at the very beginning as Captain Picard and his new crew are captured by the evil Q.
We surrender.
Hey, Picard is Captain Cool. He always finds a way out.
Well, you gotta love Data.
Where can I get some of those glasses Geordi wears?
Call now to begin collecting your favorite episodes on video cassette.
I want the whole series.
Enjoy your favorite characters, your favorite adventures, your favorite episodes.
My favorite, Code of Honor. Data Lore.
Heart of Glory.
Where no one has gone before.
They're all here, starting with Encounter at Farpoint. Yours for just $4.95.
Just $4.95? That's it?
$4.95?
Just $4.95? How do I get it?
How do I get it?
How do I get it?
Call now. Get your introductory Star Trek The Next Generation video cassette in special collector's packaging for just $4.95. Call now.
It's a classic. You gotta own it.
Gotta own it.
You gotta own it.
To start your video collection, call today and get your first Star Trek The Next Generation video for just $4.95. Don't wait. Call now.
Captain, we're being hailed.
On screen. It's the Narada. Fire! We need more power.
I'm gonna get all she's got, Captain.
Brace yourselves!
With BK Kids Meals, you can create your own space adventures with sound-making toys from the new Star Trek movie. One toy per kids meal. Now with stars and bolt-shaped chicken tenders. Limited time only.
Captain, we're being hailed.
BK Kids Meals, now with Star Trek toys.
For you parents who don't speak Klingonese, he's saying, people of Earth, unite and bring your kids to McDonald's for a Star Trek meal. That's a regular hamburger, fries, soft drink, a McDonald and cookie sampler, and a Star Trek prize. Oh, yes, 5 different boxes based on Star Trek the Motion Picture. Action scenes, jokes, games. He says, take it from a father who knows. His kids love him. McDonald's Star Trek meal available for your kids now.
You keep getting me killed. I thought you had my back. Oh, not again.
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah!
Hold on just a minute. Okay. No. We're both too old for this kind of thing.
Star Trek, the video game.
All right, now you're overacting.
You could win an adventure into the next galaxy, to board the new Enterprise and appear in an episode of Star Trek, The Next Generation. Look for the winning game card inside boxes of Cheerios and Honey Nut Cheerios, or write for a free game card to Star Trek The Next Generation Sweepstakes, P.O. Box 5472, Minneapolis, Minnesota. You could have already won an adventure into the next galaxy.
Captain's log, stardate 5122-6, on a mission to Gamma 6. Spock, Bones, Scotty, and I beamed down, not knowing what to expect. We approached the idol. Its jaws were moving. Suddenly, 5 Lilliputians appeared, each attached to the other. The aliens placed themselves in front of the idol. Strange animals tried to grab us. Bones was trapped in a man-eating plant. Suddenly, the floor gave way. I was in the cave. The Lilliputians were friendly. Mission to Gamma 6 was a success.
Come on, kids, get your sweaters. Let's go. Bye, Mom. Hot water wash. Okay. Cold water wash. Pretty clean. Aw, they didn't look that good. When can I stop kidding myself?
Out of the future comes all-temperature cheer with the all-temperature clean.
Must have powerful ingredients.
Certainly they're powerful. to give you the best-looking wash your world has seen in hot water, warm, cool, cold, and everything in between.
Terrific. Now that's white.
Cheer gives you a great-looking white in hot water.
And in cold water, that's clean.
Cheer beats even the leading cold water detergent.
Wait till you see my kids tomorrow.
I'll be watching.
Superior ability breeds superior ambition.
Boy, is this stuff clean and at all those temperatures. All temperature.
Skid Trickske von Flunk. Edgy-tech Bratic Slugs. Rash Sock Sock Sock. Bratic Slugs.
So, we're talking about number 1.
Excuse me, I'm interested in the new collector's ornament from Hallmark.
Ah, the shuttlecraft Galileo from the Starship Enterprise.
Precisely.
You know, it lights up when you plug it in. And listen.
Shuttlecraft to Enterprise. Spock here. Happy holidays. Live long and prosper.
Fascinating.
For a store in your sector now carrying the Star Trek ornament, call 1-800-HALLMARK.
Live long and prosper, right?
No, I'll take 5.
The Hallmark Christmas ornaments. My God. I mean, it is only, what month? We're only in March, but after watching this, I felt like I was wanting it to already be December again. And the fact this one gives me the fuzzies. And the fact, like, you know, besides the fact that the ad's warm, it feels comfortable, and Little Nimoy had a phenomenal voice. You could just, I feel like if he talked to anyone, he would be able to calm you down in a way, in all honesty. And I'll bet, like, during the time when this was filmed, Nimoy thought, okay, sure, I'll do this. This is probably silly, but I'll be honest, because, like, you know, like, in a lot of these spotlights that we've done, there weren't a lot of ones that actually had Mr. Nimoy, besides the MCI commercial. So yeah, to have one that was featured him majorly was pretty neat, and in fact, it kind of works about him, like, you know, a Christmas ornament. Heck, you know, maybe if I ever find that specific ornament, I'd perhaps get it. I probably need to look for that on Amazon, perhaps. I'll probably find it in a thrift store, perhaps, too. But I gotta say, this one is extremely... This album was extremely charming, and I thought it was the best, honestly, because of Mr. Nimoy's acting, the cold, not the cold, but the warmness of the ad, and that it feels generally like Christmas. I might, you know, by the time December rolls around again, I might just watch this just for the fuzzies, honestly. But yeah, I mean, this one was the best, in honesty. And if there was any that you didn't partially think made the cut, put your thoughts and comments down below. Like, what do you think is the best Star Trek advertisement? And special point bonus, if you're able to figure it, what was the worst in marketing Star Trek that you thought fell flat? Put those comments down below, let me know, and as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. See you later. Before we get into today's video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and if you do subscribe, maybe we'll give you a shout out in the next video. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of a new Trekkie. My 5-year mission to search out Star Trek media, to seek out our fans and merchandise, to boldly go where no fan has gone before. Sorry. How's everyone doing? So, today we're going to be talking about this topic that we probably don't talk about much on this channel, which is gaming. But lately we've been talking a lot about Star Trek. So we're going to combine the subjects and talk about a relatively new game that was announced involving Star Trek, and in this case, it is Star Trek Resurgency, and it is currently the most newest Star Trek console game that is supposedly going to be coming. There's not a set date, but it could come out early this year or later this year. And yes, basically it comes in between, like, after. Basically, the entire game is. Have you ever played a game from Telltale Games? Well, some of the developers from the game, they ended up working at a company called Dramatic Labs, which is comprised of many of workers from Telltale Games. So they did, like, games like, The Wolf Among Us, The Walking Dead, and also The Batman. So basically, this game, it is a narrative game, and basically you can walk around, you can explore the ships and other worlds, although you can still be able to make decisions in a way that can affect your progress in the game, which in a way is still pretty cool. And I'll give you a little bit of a glimpse of what the game has been revealed so far, and then we'll come back in a second.
I enlisted because I didn't want to wait years just to get out and see the galaxy. I wanted to go somewhere, see new worlds, look up at a sky no one's ever seen before.
It's been a dream of mine since before I can remember, so I would be honored to become a captain someday.
I mean, in all honesty, I'm actually relatively excited about this prospect, because, I mean, I like gaming, lately I've been liking Star Trek, so I think it's pretty cool that, I mean, there's been Star Trek games over the years. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't always work. And yeah, I've always kind of thought, like, say you should take what games like sort of like, say, Mass Effect mixed in with Telltale's. I mean, I kind of thought that because I've always been wondering why they haven't ever done a Telltale's Star Trek or Star Wars game.
I need you to do the right thing.
You know, because that would be pretty cool, honestly. So, I'm actually kind of excited that this is actually going to be happening. I think it'd be pretty cool, honestly. I mean, heck, I'm still thinking the game. I mean, look, I know we've came a pretty far time for gameplay footage, but I really think that, honestly, that the models and all that stuff look fantastic.
Of the negotiations, the interests of the Federation, and the prospect for peace.
And all that. And heck, if this is, say, some of the developers from Telltale Games, I think it's sort of like a different kind of animation vibe in the fact that this has more of like a more realistic kind of vibe, whereas I can say past Telltale games, it has more of almost cartoonish look, in all honesty. But what do you guys think? Are you excited about Star Trek Resurgency? Put those thoughts and those comments below, And as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of a new Trekkie. My 5-year mission to search out Star Trek media, to seek out our fans and merchandise, to boldly go where no fan has gone before.
Greetings and salutations, how's everybody doing? Before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So, today we're talking about 2 episodes of the original Star Trek show. The first episode we'll be discussing is The Enemy Within. The episode we're talking about is Mother's Women. So let's go ahead and discuss the first one we're going to be talking about, which is The Enemy Within. Some of the guest characters actors that appear in this episode include Jim Goodwin as Farrell, Edward Madden as Fisher, Eddie Pisacki as Connors, and Garland Thompson as Wilson. So, basically this episode is after a bit of exploration on the planet of Alpha 177. Basically what happens is Kirk ends up getting beamed back onto the ship, and after some technical difficulties, an evil, or basically not an evil version, but a split evil version of Kirk comes back as well. And throughout the episode, basically, Kirk has started to weaken. And basically, throughout the episode, basically the goal is to try to get this evil Kirk, and as well as try to get the transporter pods safe and refigurated so they can get everyone who is on Alpha 177 back onto the ship. Basically bit of the, what would be the word for this? The influence. Basically the influence for this episode would be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Well, because the evil version of Kirk, in a way, duality of good versus evil is apparent in the episode. So that's pretty cool. One thing that does happen is and like a bit of, like, say, important detail is that evil Kirk ends up assaulting Janice Rand, Kirk's yeoman.
Let's stop pretending. Just a minute, Janice. Just a minute!
Yeoman Janice Rand. And yeah, basically, like, if I could say, paraphrase, like, how one way this would be, if, like, say, how, like, if someone would have, like, watched this today, someone probably would have said this would be trying to capitalize on the Me Too movement, I'd say, in a way, and that Kirk is trying to control his darker side as well, and that everyone's trying to find this dark version of him and away. And I gotta say, the acting from William Shatner in this episode is actually really, honestly, very good.
Please, I don't want to. Don't make me. Don't make me. I want to go back. Please! I want to live! You will. Both of us. I want to live!
He does a great job. I will say that there is some funny sequence in that, one of the ways they find out that the transporter pod is bringing back, evil versions of people who have been teleported is of a dog. And the dog is so ridiculous in that it's got, like, say, a little coat or something on it with a little horn on its head. And it looks ridiculous. I kind of think this episode is pretty good in the fact that William Shatner does a great job in it, and as well this episode is, although this was the first time we saw the Vulcan nerve pinch, basically the whole gist of it was that, and originally in the script, Mr. Leonard Nimoy basically said, why don't I try to, instead of punching him or shooting him, why don't I just, like, knock him out in a way. And yeah, I mean, I gotta say, overall, this episode is fairly good. It holds up really well, especially with its themes of good and evil. So, I mean, overall, I gotta say, check this episode out. It's all honestly pretty good. So, now we're gonna go ahead and talk about Muzz Women. So, some of the new cast members in this episode include, for the, first time, Roger C. Carmel as Leo Walsh / Harry Mudd, Karen Steele as Eve, Susan Berg as Magda Kovacs, Maggie Threff as Ruth, and Gene Dorozowski as Ben Childress. In this episode, the Enterprise is trying to pursue a vessel and its captain, Harry Mudd, a conman, and 3 mysterious, beautiful women he has been transporting to become the wives of. He's basically transporting to lithium miners. Basically, they're miners for. They mine for lithium crystals. And Mudd, he's a bit of a con man in that he's always trying to find a new con. And I gotta say, for the actor, Mr. Carmel, Roger C. Carmel, I gotta say that in this episode, he does a fantastic job in the fact that he is, although his acting would be, by today's standards, can be a little bit of overtop. In a way, it is, with the way he's just, the body language he's doing, the mannerisms he's doing, the over-the-topness of it all. He is giving a lot of personality, in a way, to it, the character.
Thus affecting a menace to navigation.
What, my tiny little ship in this immense galaxy? A menace to navigate.
You're also charged with operation of a vessel without a master's license.
Untrue. I have a master's ticket.
Incorrect.
So, that's really good, honestly. I'd say some of the themes to this episode are human trafficking, vanity, in a way. Well, because in a way, they say the women that he has, they are, in a way, they have to achieve their beauty. They are given, basically, they are given a drug known as the Venus drug, which basically elevates, say, if it's a woman, basically their feminine characteristics. If it's a man, say their masculine characteristics. So, basically they're given drugs to, keep their appearances, and if they don't keep that drug, basically they revert to. Basically, they don't look as, like, in their minds, they don't look as beautiful as they did. And yeah, basically, in a way, it is sort of metaphors for addiction, in a way, I feel. And the planet that they're trying to go to is Epicus 3. The planet of Epicus 3. And yeah, they're trying to get there because that is a mining plant. And at first, they say the men are all happy, yes, because they're happy because they have women, and unfortunate, but once they realize, they say, their looks have dissipated. It's sort of like, say, in a way, after, like, having a drunken one night stand, like, having, like, being drunk, and then realize, like, say, this person that you're with is truly beautiful, and then you suddenly realize, like, oh, they're having a high in a way. Although the metaphor for it is that instead of drug, like, say, it's having confidence in oneself, since that's what kept Eve saying, like, say, yeah, I'll stay on this planet, because, I'm no longer need the drug. It's really me who is confident in myself. And yeah, I really think this is actually a really good episode. It introduces a really great character of Harcourt Fenton Mudd, or Harry Mudd, and I actually kind of really enjoyed this episode. I think it's actually really good. So yeah, I think it's actually pretty cool, and I also think the costumings for this episode as well are actually pretty good. Both these episodes have pretty good makeup and costumes as well.
Just as I told you, 3 lovely ladies, destined for frontier planets, to be the companions of lonely men.
And that in the previous episode, Damien Flynn had sort of a new look for Captain Kirk, and the fact that he had a bit of gold around his neck and around his sleeves.
Oh my.
Which was more detailed. So yeah, they had a bit of upgrade for some characters. So that was pretty cool. But overall, I gotta say both of these episodes were actually fairly good. They were pretty good, great episodes, honestly. But what do you guys think? What do you think of these episodes, both these episodes? Put your thoughts in the comments down below and let me know. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of a new Trekkie. My 5-year mission to search out Star Trek media, to seek out our fans and merchandise, to boldly go where no fan has gone before.
Greetings and salutations. So, you're probably looking at the time, you're probably fine. Isn't this like a series based on and around Star Trek? Well, you'd be right. And before I get into that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and do all that fun stuff. But back to what I was saying. So yeah, like I was about to say, this is the Star Trek sort of based show. But for once, we're going to talk about a film that was a bit of a parody of Star Trek that ended up becoming a cult following that ended up also, in a way, getting its own comic book run away. And that is Galaxy Quest. So basically, the plot of Galaxy Quest is about a group of actors that somehow get recruited to help save the galaxy after the aliens that have enlisted them saw that the show that they did and think, oh wow, they really are heroes, and they get enlisted to fight an alien race, and as well as the actors are trying to have to keep this charade going to, you know, save the day. So the cast includes for this film includes Tim Allen as Jason Nesmith, who was an actor playing Commander Peter Quincy Taggart. Sigourney Weaver as Gwen DeMarco, who played Lieutenant Tuan Madsen, and Alan Rickman as Alexander Dane, who played Dr. Lazarus in the film's fictional show, The Galaxy Quest. Tony Shalhoub as Fred Kwan, who played Tech Sergeant Shen. Sam Rockwell as Guy Fligman. He was in the show as, like, say, a minor character known as a red shirt. Daryl Mitchell as Tommy Weber, who played Lieutenant Laredo. Corbin Blue, who played a young version of Yuri and Yuriko Calentona. Enrico as Malthazar. He's the leader of the Fremens. Roman Sachs as Refar Saris, the general. He's like leading the reptilian humanoids who seek to destroy the Fremens. Patrick Brin as Quillak. Missy Powell as she is like the love interest to Fred. I'm gonna be honest, I am totally butchering names. I apologize. I'm sorry. And Jed Reese as Teb. Oh, and this was also the first introduction to Justin Long. This was like his film feature debut. So, I'll be honest, I'm gonna drop a bomb on you, and you'll probably be thinking, like, surprise a bit? This is my first time ever seeing Galaxy Quest. What? Yeah, I've never seen Galaxy Quest until this video. And I'll be honest, I gotta say, I at first thought, okay, this is gonna be a comic film that's gonna be making fun of Star Trek. And honestly, I can't want to like say, have a lot of films actually done this, where they make fun of, or definitely parody Star Trek? Well, besides this one and a little bit of a faithful, trying to think, the Orville will be another example. I mean, overall, I'm gonna say this. I had a lot of fun with this film, in all honesty. I did. I found this film is a lot of fun. No.
What was that?
Nothing.
Honestly, I love the makeup that for Saris's race.
Saris, how you doing?
Better than my lieutenant. He failed to activate the ship's neutron armor as quickly as I'd hoped on our last encounter.
I think they look amazing. The makeup look and all that looks amazing. That's why I still believe that, I took makeup in college. I believe that, for makeup is the best way for fantasy-based films. And, yeah, I like the concepts and all the themes that are going on in the film. Like, say, the actors in the film, like, say, they are all, and the fact that, they're still holding on to a show that they did many, many years ago. Whereas, like, some of them are just, like, said, fine, we gotta go to a convention, okay. And that Alexander Dane, he's just, like, say, please, don't remind me of my catchphrase. And whereas Jason Nesmith, he basically just like say, yeah. He's like saying, yeah, I'll say it.
Never give up, never surrender. Damn the resonance cannons, full speed ahead, huh?
He's just like always like say he's more of the enthusiastic one until he hears a bunch of kids at the convention just realize they say, yeah, wow, people really don't really like us as much as I thought. And yeah, I think this, in honesty, compared to most, like, say, parody films, like, say, the trash that is the Meet the Spartans and all those kind of films, this is a very loving parody. In fact, it takes, like, say, the ideas of these properties and does it in a loving way instead of just, like, say, ha ha ha. Like it's an episode of The Simpsons or something like that, where it needs to be made fun of. No. This, although it is using humor, it's doing it in a loving way. Like, you can see some of the influences, like, say, for Star Trek, you can see, like, say, that some characters could be, like, say, taken from, like, say, probably perhaps original series. Like, say, for Dr. Lazarus, he is sort of, like, say, perhaps, either, like, a combination of, like, say, Mr. Spock, or, probably for his, looks, I'm gonna say one of the characters from Deep Space Nine. Yeah, that one. I haven't watched the show yet, so yeah. And yeah, I gotta say I really enjoyed it. I like the humor, in honesty. And I especially, I think that the stand-up moment for me is Commander Taggart when he is facing the rock monster. The Gornak, the rock monster, I think that is although the effect is kind of cheesy, I think it's trying to be cheesy in the fact, like, yeah, the show that they did is kind of silly, so let's make a silly rock monster. Which is, and the effect, and honestly, still kind of holds up, and honestly.
Oh, darn.
Oh. Like, say like in most science fiction films, there is a MacGuffin, which is the Omega-13, which is basically at the beginning of the film, the actors don't say anything. What is this thing again? And basically, because, it was never revealed what it was. And it's basically just, like, when there is a dire situation, push the big button, and it basically takes you back in time for a few seconds. And, like, one of the, like, cliches that it's used in the film, but I think it works better here than in a more of a dramatic way than some other films that say, is the liar revealed, like, cliche, where it's revealed, where the characters are having to reveal, hey, we're just actors from a TV show.
Mathazar, I'm not a commander. There's no National Space Exploration Administration. We don't have a ship.
There it is.
That ship is that big.
Inside, I've seen many rooms.
And honestly, I think that the way it is presented actually works. And the fact that the Fremen, this entire time, they are, let's believe, that the crew from Galaxy Quest are true heroes.
It's all fake. Just like me.
unfortunately, Saris is having to bust that bubble. But like true heroes, the crew is basically just as I say. We may be actors, but today, we're heroes. And I gotta say, I really had a lot of fun with this. I really did. And although I will be honest, that the beginning moments with the convention, it can be a little bit cringy, I suppose, but it's fun, in honesty. I mean, honestly, there was a lot I could talk about, but at the same time, I don't want to seem like I'm rambling. Yeah, I like the fact that, like, say, the part when they are trying to go to the manual override. Override basically is like, yeah, let's just try to think, like, what kind of goofy stuff can we throw that would have appeared in a 70s, science fiction show. And yeah.
Well, screw that!
So overall, I gotta say, I really quite recommend this film. It's really that entertaining. But I think the actors in all honesty did a great job. But what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on Galaxy Quest? And if you want, you can even make comments of your favorite, say, Star Trek parody film, or it's fan film, or it's Galaxy Quest. What's your favorite Star Trek comedy-based thing? Put your thoughts and comments down below. Let me know. And as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. See you later.
Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of a new Trekkie. My 5-year mission to search out Star Trek media, to seek out our fans and merchandise, to boldly go where no fan has gone before.
Greetings and salutations, how's everybody doing? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and do all some fun stuff before we get talking. So, before we get into today's video, I'll give another shout out to the co-creator of the show for another, say, episode of Trek Corner. Take it away, Mr. King.
Hi, and welcome to another installment of Trek Corner. I am co-creator Scott King, and today's Trek item that we are going to look at is an audiobook read by James Doohan, and of course, it's on cassette. This is actually supposed to be a sequel to Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. As you know, that movie is really good. It hasn't been reviewed yet as of this episode, but look forward to it in the near future. But yeah, this is just an audiobook. It's based on a novel. Yeah, it is really interesting. I don't really see a whole lot of these floating around anymore. Let's see if I can get one out of here. Oh, that one fell right out. Okay, there we go. There's a better look at the actual cassette itself. And it appears each one runs about 90 minutes. But yes, it's read by James Doohan. And it's, what year did this come out? 1992. So yeah, that is a pretty interesting little item. And, you know, if you're a fan of cassettes or even audiobook, or audiobooks, sorry, correction. This might be one to pick up for your Star Trek collection, even if you just like Star Trek stuff in general. These are pretty cool to pick up. I'm sure it's probably available on CD or on Audible or something. But yeah. Now back to Steven.
So today's video is, like the title suggests, the third discussion in the Star Trek films, which is Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. After like say Spock's sacrifice and death, basically the crew of the Enterprise have to they end up stealing the Enterprise just to go back to the Genesis planet so that they can recover Spock's body, because Spock's mind and his spirit have been transferred into Bones, and basically if they don't do it, Bones shall, he'll die. So basically they have to get his body back, and also to get his mind back on the planet of Vulcan. So the director for this film was by Spock himself, Leonard Nimoy. And if you're expecting Spock to appear quite frequently in a film, well, he does, except most of the times it's mostly just like quite a bit of a time frame of like Spock rapidly aging. And when most fans say that Star Trek films, the good ones, are usually, say, 2, 4, and all those numbers, I'm going to say that I actually find this film very entertaining. I think the effects are good. I think the acting is really good. Overall, I just feel this is an entertaining film, in all honesty. So, like, we get the usual returning cast, like, for the main trio of characters. Like, two returning cast members who were in the Replicon include Robin Curtis as Savick, and Merritt Buttrick as David Marcus, Kirk's son. And like say the current villain for this film was Commander Krug, who was played wonderfully by Christopher Lloyd, Doc Brown himself. And one of the things that makes this film special is the fact that although the Vulcans had appeared, and previously they appeared in the Replicon at the very beginning, this time they were quite frankly fleshed out, and the fact that they would give their language was quite more well developed.
Achwe, Doshibos, Nech, Kata, Yazju, Da.
So we have more character development for the Klingons, and that their language was more well done. So we have that. One of the there's say, at the beginning of the when you're at the beginning of the film, I actually really like the fact that the first time we actually see when Kirk thinks, wait, Spock could be alive, and in his old room, because there's some activity going on there. I actually think the way it's done, where it has who we as audience member think, is it Spock? And it's who we believe, okay, it sounds like him.
Help me. You left me on Genesis. Why did you do that? Help me.
But it's Bones. That is actually a great sequence in the fact that it is, it's setting up anticipation. And yeah, I gotta say that is some great use of storytelling, in all honesty. one of the two very important plot details is that the villain in the film, one thing that he ends up happening, that although it is very important, although I kind of wish that we had more of an impact, although it is a very dramatic sequence, is the death of David Marcus. I mean, it is a very tragic sequence. Although, I believe, I could totally be wrong about this, I believe if there had been more moments where he had, besides just him, Pig, and Wrath of Khan, I believe if there had been more moments, like, say, although it is, you know, like, the reaction that Kirk gets, like, you know, the pure rage that he gets, and the fact that his son has been killed,
Klingon bastard, you've killed my son.
I wish there had been more, like, say, interactions besides, like, you know, so we could say, okay, Kirk has fully developed this relationship with his son, besides, you know, just so we could, like, develop it more, better. However, I understand, like, say, you know, he was only developed in the second film, so we had to transfer him over to the third film. So, that makes sense in the fact that, you know, okay, we have this emotional, pull for Kirk, in the fact, okay, like, it was already, Kirk was already just saying, okay, I have reasons to go after the bad guy, but now I have a stronger reason to. And that although he is having this young version of Spock, he also has now led to the death of my son. So yeah, I mean, I kind of wish that, you know, there had been more moments with him. So, you know, like, there had been more, it would have been more of a tragic pull instead of just, like, say, oh, hey, he was here, second film, if it, okay, oh, now he's gone, okay. I will say that, as well, as the destruction of the Enterprise, it is rather, like, say, sad in the fact that, you know, we've seen the ship for so long in the show, as well as the first two films, and now it's been destroyed. One. So yeah, it is like a very sad moment indeed. I gotta say one thing I thought is that the film has, compared to the Wrath of Khan, although this film does not have as much as a violent push as the last film. I'm looking at you, eel ear sequence and other sequences of the film. I feel like, say, Nimoy besides thought, okay, I'm going to have violence, but I'm going to have it where it propels the story forward. And, you know, I think that really works for Mr. Nimoy in a way. So, yeah, I actually kind of really like the club or bar sequence where Bones is just like, you know, he's the Forrest Kelly. He basically just giving his best Spock, like, you know, impersonation, like, and all that. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Anybody been looking for me?
I have, but what's the use? What'll it be?
Altair water.
That's not your usual poison.
To expect one to order poison on a bar is not logical.
I mean, is this film as, like, you know, is it as great as The Wrath of Khan? No. But is it still a good movie? In my opinion, yes. I think it's a good film in the fact, you know, it is trying new ideas, and the fact that, you know, even though the villain, he's not as, like, a imposing bad guy compared to Khan, he still is, like, trying to say, okay, Spock, I mean, no, Kirk, I do mean business, so you've killed my man mind, causing destruction of your ship. You know, I actually really like the final battle between Commander.
Give me your hand! I have had enough of you!
Krug and Kirk, and that they are both two duologies on the way. Like, say, like the fact that Kirk is trying, and you know, he's just trying to do what he can to bring back his friend, and although Genesis is a failure, and that although once something has been brought back to life, in this case a planet, eventually it will die again because of Genesis being quite, say, what would be the word? Destructive. So yeah, and he's like, say, okay, I can use this and all that. So that's pretty cool idea, concept. So I mean, in all honesty, I actually really think that Search for Spock is actually a very good film. I think it's very well. Although the story is okay, I think the direction that Leonard Nimoy gave was very well done. I think the actors from the director Leonard Nimoy did a great job. So overall, I think it's a very entertaining film. I mean, I think it's probably like, say, even though this is like the third in the film franchise, I think it's all honestly a pretty good film. The actors are on the top of their game, although, like, say, the main purpose of the story is a search for Spock. I'm glad the fact that, you know, the story was like, say, okay, we're gonna spend a lot of time with Spock. And the fact, you know, although he's not there, we are going to have his influence felt throughout it, in honesty. So I think that's pretty cool. But what do you guys think? Put your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. See you later. Before we can say this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and today we're celebrating both the character and the actor, William Shatner, great Canadian kid. Hopefully he has a great birthday on his 91st day of life. Enjoy the video.
Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of a new Trekkie. My 5-year mission to search out Star Trek media, to seek out our fans and merchandise, to boldly go where no fan has gone before.
was just looking for my cassette collection because I'm trying to think of what songs to play for the greatness that is it's James T. Kirk's birthday. Yeah, today. So today is going to be the top 10 fun facts about the great Captain James Tiberius Kirk. But just let me let you know, this is going to be about the classic Kirk, not the new Kirk from the new films. I'm not sure that is also going to be including into Kirk that's going to be appearing in Strange New Worlds or not. But we're going to be talking about the top 10 fun facts. But I guess let's not waste any time. We'll try to find something for recognizing the moment for this great man later. Let's start on with that with number 1. So I bet you probably know, like, say today is the March 22nd. Was actually born today. Not until many years or decades. Doesn't get born until March 22nd of the year 2233. And his parents were George and Winona Kirk. They are probably those two. They probably haven't even been born yet. So hopefully we catch up on them several years from now and check out how great they turn out too, as well. So moving on. So what we've just talked about when he was born, but where was he born? He was actually born in Riverside, Iowa. Riverside, Ohio. Sounds like a small little community. Heck, actually, you can actually visit there. You can actually visit his, his birthstone. Yeah, he has a birthstone in Iowa that you can actually visit. That's like commemorating his birthday. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool and awesome. Maybe I should do that if I ever go to a trip to Iowa. So moving on. Although Kirk is the captain of the Enterprise, one thing that is important for a captain is, well, as a fighter as well, is their fighting style. And he has a wide variety in his fighting style. And that includes he can do wrestling, he does judo throws, open-handed slaps, and as well as drop kicks. Here's some many examples of his fighting styles over the years. One thing that is actually pretty cool is that that Kirk actually has a brother. Yeah, George Samuel Kirk. And one thing that it seems that is very probably prominent in Kirk's family is that Sam is actually a scientist. He actually appears in 2 episodes, like a little bit references as what little girls are made of, and appears in Annihilation. He's actually played by Shatner as well, with a mustache. Moving on. So yeah. One thing, the interesting fact is that he was the first and slightly only student at the Starfleet Academy to be able to beat Kobayashi Maru. However, the way he did it is a little bit of a gray area in that he kind of reprogrammed the test, and kind of in a way it's cheating. So yeah, like in a way it's supposed to be able to see how you would fare as a captain in life or death situations in battle. But perhaps even though it is perhaps cheating, maybe you thought, okay, yeah, this is cheating, but in a way it's leveling the playing field. Here's a fun fact, and you probably know this, is that he actually has a dog. And in this case, a Great Dane named Butler. Gotta admit, that's a pretty cool name for a badass name for a dog, in all honesty. However, yeah. That's a really cool dog, Andy. Yeah.
Butler. Butler. How can you be here? He's been dead 7 years.
Come on, Jim, I'm starving. How long are you going to be rattling around in that kitchen?
According to the episode, court martial, Kirk's Starfleet serial number is CSC 937-0176 CEC. Sounds like a lot of numbers and letters, but I mean, sounds pretty cool to be honest. Like, one thing that is actually pretty cool is, like, you probably think, like, say, well, like, one thing, well, besides the, commanding the Enterprise, has he actually, served on other ships? Well, actually, he has. He's actually, served under 2. And in this case, the U.S. Republic and as well as the U.S. Farragut. And yeah, that little detail is we actually get that little detail from the episode Court Martial. And one thing that I think is pretty cool is that it shows how, like, in a way, how what kind of been a great leader and also a teacher, I suppose, that Kirk is. While he was a lieutenant of Starfleet, he was also an instructor. He was given back to the next generation. Maybe he also ended up trying to teach Jean-Luc Picard. Who knows? Or, yeah, maybe that's a bit too past several generations. One little thing I think is pretty cool but you probably already know this. He has a son, David Marcus.
Phasers down!
And this was like the only son he had, in a way. Yeah. Only a father once, and although sadly, it unfortunately did not last for very long. But, happy birthday, Kirk. Hopefully you're out there, just in a way, journeying through the stars and fighting a bunch of Klingons and bringing true peace. I think I found it! I think I found the tape that he would really enjoy. And it's probably a musical. And it's actually probably two. Kirk, would you rather listen to Frank Sinatra? Or would you rather listen to Fiddler on the Roof? Happy birthday, Kirk.
Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of a new Trekkie. My 5-year mission to search out Star Trek media, to seek out our fans and merchandise, to boldly go where no fan has gone before.
When it comes to Star Trek, one has to think, which of the characters in the show had the most sex appeal? Well, the obvious choice would be going to Kirk. He was the bit of the ladies' man in the show. But what about Mr. Spock?
Well, fascinating is a word I use for the unexpected.
During the time period during the course of the show, he was a bit of a sex symbol. Yeah. And I think I can see why. Well, quite obviously, not only was Spock and Mr. Nimoy, he was a bit of an attractive man. Well, I mean, say during the time period, he wasn't say the leading man kind of attractive as you would probably see in today's actor. However, I'd say during the run of the course of the show, probably the one thing that was probably, I'd say, made him a bit of that sex appeal icon would be perhaps his range from his intelligence and as well as ranging to his ability to control one's emotions.
I'm sorry.
I mean, when you kind of think about it, us men, we're not always the greatest at perhaps controlling that area, are we? And I mean, we perhaps taken from a Vulcan who hasn't been on shows like, say, the Carol Barnett show. But yeah, that was, yeah. Perhaps in a way it could have been that. I mean, when you think about it, one of the appeals of Mr. Spock was that he more of say the tactic. He was more of say the master planner, or say the intelligence of the group. And yeah, I'd say that when it comes to sexual appeal, like intelligence, that would be a, perhaps a way of thinking, I suppose. And well, Mr. Spock, he does have the looks.
You realize that the aim will, of course, be very crude.
I don't care if you hit the broadside of a barn. Just hurry, please.
Captain, why should I aim at such a structure?
It could, in all honesty, his sex appeal could be all a bit of opinion in a way. But perhaps one of the biggest reasons is the fact that during the time of the role, Mr. Leonard Nimoy, he was a great actor. So that delved into his character.
We'll go to him now, please.
I cannot.
And I bet, say, a lot of actors today, say, perhaps Jeff Goldblum, although he is also an attractive man, he, probably say back in his heyday, he probably would have been, say, a sex symbol. Have you seen him in Jurassic Park? Have you seen him today? I mean, think about it. That could be the same case. Perhaps, however, one thing that could have led to Mr. Spock being a bit of a sex symbol is that during the course of the show, the Slash culture, in a way, gravitated toward him and paired him with his best friend and Captain James T. Kirk. And if you don't really know what Slash is, in this case, we're not talking about the band. Slash is, in a way, coupling of two male characters in pop culture, say two characters, and pairing them up together. There's also another course of category called Femme Slash. So yeah, we get that bit of detail. So usually it is pairing of two characters of the same sex. And having a bit of either romantic a bit of allegories, or in this case, sometimes having a bit of swinging towards BDSM at times. And yeah, heck, even at one point, a fan fiction author had even wrote a full Star Trek book that had a bit of Slash involving Mr. Spock and Kirk. However, I really honestly think that perhaps, yeah, Mr. Spock, he actually did have a bit of a sex appeal. And perhaps he was, for perhaps both men and women, he was indeed a bit of a sex symbol. But what are your guys' thoughts? Put your thoughts in comments down below. Do you disagree or do you agree? Put those thoughts and those comments down below. Let me know. And as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of a new Trekkie. My 5-year mission to search out Star Trek media, to seek out our fans and merchandise, to boldly go where no fan has gone before.
Welcome to the unboxing video. So yeah, I got a box of stuff that was sent in, and today we're gonna talk about it, I guess. See what we got in here. So this is let's do it that way. So this is a Captain Kirk Star Trek Mego toy action figure. You can tell and look at him, and he doesn't really look much like William Shatner, does he? Like, looking on the back of it, the Lieutenant Uhura right there, that does not look like Michelle Nichols, does it? Looks like a Barbie figure right there, doesn't it? Looks like a Barbie figure. I mean, they got him in the advertisements right there. They almost got his likeness. They did it. I bet it's hard to make action figures, honestly. But no one will about action figures. You're not supposed to take them out of the box. You're supposed to leave them in mint condition. That's one thing I do know. So we're gonna keep it like that. We're gonna grab something else out now. Oh hey, a book. The mysterious alien attack cripples both the USS Enterprise and Dr. McCoy. Star Trek, Dreams of the Raven, a novel by Carmen Carter. I like that cover. I love the way it looks. I like the font. I love the color. I love the image of that. It looks really good. When I finish all this book, this might become a review. So that's pretty cool. Gets me something new to read. Besides my bookshelf of Doctor Who novels that got at a thrift store. Too bad this isn't talking about Doctor Who too. Oh wait. So let's keep on going on. And this one looks like, hey, it's an NES game. It's Star Trek, the 25th anniversary from Ultra Games. And it's Nintendo, and it's a good thing I have the Retron, I think Retron 3, so that's actually pretty cool. I'll be honest, I am not always the greatest at NES games, unless we're talking about, like, say, the original Super Mario game. Yeah. So, there's that. Thank you, whoever sent this. I will gladly give this a try. Most definitely. Next thing to grab out. Star Trek light and sound communicator. Look at that, look at that. Only I can get this open. Okay, we got it open. It's got a little booklet. talking about the history of the communicator. So that's pretty cool. Crazy cats, you know? Crazy animals. Calling Dr. Scott, calling Dr. Scott, or Mr. Scott. I'm reading a lot of fanboyism going on. Oh, for a second I thought this didn't work. Remember when you become adults and are parents, you gotta take the batteries out after Christmas, because if you don't, you will never hear the end of that little toy that you got them from Christmas. Yeah, remember that. Someone gave me a free pin too, it seems. So there's that. I always need free pins. So that's good. Let's see what else we got in here. Star Trek, Starship, light. I gotta read these things sometimes. Starship, light up Star Trek, Starship Enterprise. Sorry. And it's a little mini model. Let's look at this little guy. You're getting the full experience, I guess. Let's put this little guy together. I'm not the kind of person that you want to give little models to build things and all that. And it looks like we were able to get it figured out. Oh, that looks actually really cool. Look at that. That is actually really neat looking, honestly. That's actually really cool, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Let's keep on going. I'm not sure about this next one. Star Trek Encounters for PS2. It's an arcade game, style kind of game. I've heard some good things about this one, and I've heard some negative things. It's from Bethesda, so yeah, like Skyrim Bethesda and Fallout Bethesda. Yeah, before they were doing Fallout and 76 and, you know, making messes, they made Star Trek Encounters. Well, maybe we'll give this a shot. Maybe we'll give this one a fair shot. You hear me, Star Trek Encounters? We're gonna give you a fair shot. You hear me? You're getting a fair shot. What else we got in here? Oh hey, I can finally read another book. Star Trek, the Klingon Dictionary. And it includes new material from Star Trek The Next Generation and Star Trek. Is that, which number was that? Is that 5 or 6? I'm not really great on Roman numerals. But I love that little, the image of it. That looks really cool, honestly. Because he said, like, he's like pointing and like, yeah, we're badass. Yeah, you want to read this, you want to be awesome like us. That's what it's telling me. If you read this, you become a badass Klingon. It'd be great. It's awesome. It's Christopher Lloyd. We got a few more things in here. Hey, it's a Funko Pop toy. This is actually so okay. This is obviously the first ever Funko Pop toy. I've never actually owned a Funko Pop toy. I've seen them many times in stores, but I've never fought one or thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna put it on my shelf. I'm gonna get this. But I know one thing about Funko Pop toys is you're not supposed to take them out of the shelves or boxes. I kind of want to take it out and all that, but I feel like I'd be having the viewers raging at me. Let me see, who else can I get? I would want to get Khan. Or Spock with the beard. You see that? Look, there's one Spock with a beard right there. You see that? It looks actually really cool. If I could, I'd get that one too. Those cats really love to run around, it seems. So, what is the last thing we got in here? And it's another game. I think either that our critic or our fans are basically saying, hey, we're giving you content, you better deliver. Star Trek for PS3. This one's based off the 2009 J.J. Abrams reboot series. The main bad guy from it, I think, is the Gorn. Yeah, they look a lot. I've shown some footage from it, from like the Star Trek best commercials. That is the cats. They are running around. They run around like crazy animals. Yeah, but this actually looks like it would maybe, if I would give this share a shot. Yeah, and honestly, I will do that. Let's give this one. We're gonna go where no one has ever gone before, on PS3, and this is the last time we ever had a Star Trek game for consoles. Yeah. I like this one. I like this one over the Communicator. And honestly, that's a pretty good haul, I think. I will most likely put this on a shelf somewhere. Most likely, yeah. Yeah. But what do you guys think? Do you think this is a pretty cool idea? Or do you think if you didn't get enough stuff, there was not much stuff? You think there was enough material? Hopefully, next time, maybe some fans or someone will send us more stuff. But, remember, this is actually kind of fun. Like, you know, like, being all organic and just opening it with you guys for the first time and saying, oh, look at what we got here. But, hopefully you enjoyed this. I'll see you next time. See you later.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of a new Trekkie. My 5-year mission to search out Star Trek media, to seek out our fans and merchandise, to boldly go where no fan has gone before.
Greetings. Today I have a really special treat for you. And, well, word on tree is, I've been able to acquire this long lost Star Trek clip that hasn't been seen light of day, that hasn't seen the light of day for many decades. The following is a lost scene from Star Trek The Next Generation. It was cut for some unknown reasons, but honestly, I think it would have changed the entire show forever. Enjoy.
Mr. Crusher, set course for Starbase A. Gene, you're adorable. B, you're so beautiful. C, you're a cutie full of charm. D, you're a darling, and E, you're exciting, and F, you're a feather in my arms. G, you look good to me. H, you're so heavenly. I, you're the one I idolize. J, we're like Jack and Jill. K, you're so kissable. L is the love light in your eyes. M, N, O, P, I could go on all day. Q, R, S, T, alphabetically speaking, you're okay. U, make my life complete. V means you're very sweet. W, X, Y, Z. It's fun to wander through the alphabet with you to tell you what you mean to. Engage.
April Fools, guys.
Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of a new Trekkie. My 5-year mission to search out Star Trek media, to seek out our fans and merchandise, to boldly go where no fan has gone before.
Greetings and salutations, welcome to another video. So, today we're talking about, again, two episodes from the original run of Star Trek from Season 1. And in this case, we're talking about the episodes What Are Little Girls Made Of? And the following episode, Miri. So, before we get into it, let's talk about the episode What Are Little Girls Made Of? I don't usually always give details, like say who directed episode, because, that seems like, like, it doesn't, doesn't always seem like it affects much. But in actuality, the episodes usually, along with the writer, is their vision and all that. So, it was done by James Goldstein. And in the episode, Nurse Chapel is reunited with her fiancé, but his new obsession leads to him making an android duplicate of Captain Kirk.
Well, there's one difference between us. I'm hungry. The difference is your weakness, Captain, not mine.
So some of the actors that appear in the episode supporting cast are Michael Strong as Dr. Roger Corby, Shay Jackson as Andrea, Ted Cassidy as Rook, Majel Baird as Christine Chapel. One thing that I like about this episode, and I think it actually allowed Shatner the opportunity to, is the fact that he plays Kirk, and he also plays the android version of Kirk. So, sort of like how in, he also previously got to play an evil version of Kirk, he also gets to play, another version of Kirk as well. So that actually is pretty cool. So he gets to do a bit of, differences in his character. Especially, say, the first, when you see him arguing with Spock, Spock is just going to say, okay, this is definitely not the captain, because this was the captain, he wouldn't be talking exactly like this. And I'll be honest, for this episode, like remember, Star Trek came out in the 60s, so especially for this time period, the makeup for this episode, especially for like say when the moments when it's revealed that spoilers, Dr. Corby is actually a android. Yeah. I think the makeup reveal effects that they do is actually, relatively well done.
Christine, let me prove myself. Does this make such a difference?
I mean, it seems very primitive by today's standards, but it actually looks really good. Still. I still think that, Rook, I think he's a pretty cool character. It's like, he's almost like, say, I mean, you could, like, feel like, yeah, he's, like, he feels like, say, a Frankenstein monster, and that fact that, he's just, like, he speaks in simple ways, and all that. So, yeah, I think the actor, he did a great job and all that for this character. I especially love the colors of this episode, and that, especially in the caverns, I think it looks really great, in all honesty. And yeah, I actually really think the theme of, like, say, what does it really truly mean to be human, like, which is like, cause Dr. Corby has made all these androids.
I am Roger Corby!
Then prove it. Give me that phaser gun. If there's any human left on you, give it to me.
Because in his mind that, like, say that these androids are they are the superior version of humanity. Fact that, they don't have to eat, all that stuff. But yeah, I think it's actually the theming of what it means to be human and all that is actually really well done, honestly, for this episode.
You cannot love. You're not human.
Love you. Kiss.
I can't really think of, like, say, what kind of influences, but if I could take a gander of a guess, I'd say Frankenstein in a way for this episode. But, like, say, man creates a machine, and then, like, he has trouble controlling his machines, because Kirk basically just causes Andrea to realize, like, say, oh, I can have other emotions and all that. Because as soon as she realizes, like, say, oh, you don't want to kiss me? Oh, I shall take you out now. But overall, I feel like this episode was actually fairly entertaining, in honesty. So, let's not wasting more time. Let's move on to the next one, which is the episode Mary. So this episode was directed by Vincent McEvity. It was directed and written by Adrian Spies and Gene Roddenberry. One thing that I would say that this episode, like, say, its theme, or perhaps, like, like, say, an idea. However, this probably would be eventually lead to a theme, like, an idea. I sort of got probably, like, say, an idea of, like, say, Children of the Corn, or say, Lord of the Flies or something, and the fact that, children are having to be, like, the ones in charge and all that, but as soon as they get to a certain age, they get a disease which, will eventually kill them. So what was the plot of this episode? Basically, in the Enterprise, they discover a planet. it's sort of similar to the Earth, but the only inhabitants are children who contract a fatal disease upon entering puberty. So yeah, I actually really think this was a very good episode. I think the acting is very well done. I think that even the moments when we first reveal, like, say, the abandoned community, the abandoned town, and all that, I think it actually is very well directed, fairly well shot, and all that. Plus, we get another episode with Grace Lee Whitney as Janice, and yeah, I actually think this, I kind of like her character. And this was also had one of the supporting cast members was Kim Darby as Mary, and Michael J. Pollard as Jean. One of the things that basically they're trying to figure out, okay, we need to get like a cure so we can, allow these children to, even though they age rapidly, they're so old, they're very young. It's sort of like, say, if I'd had the way to do another, comparison, I'd say Peter Pan, but in a way, yeah. But not compared to Peter Pan, Peter Pan doesn't really suddenly get a disease, even, and then, that since Peter Pan never grows up. Actually, just trying to think, this episode was actually fairly good, honestly. Sort of like, say, sort of like the previous episode, I think especially the first moment where we see what becomes of the children as they get older, like as they reach madness and all that, I think the makeup looks really good. And honestly, I will say that, I really think it's pretty cool that, say it's, I don't know, that, I actually kind of really think this episode is pretty good, honestly. I like the fact, it kind of teaches, say, okay, it shows, say, okay, it's not just, Kirk's not just Leia's man, it's just oh, okay, a lot of women find me attractive. Even women going through puberty. Yeah, and I guess that would make sense. I'd say if Mary, say she lived today, she'd probably say Jason Momoa or someone that came down to the area. They'd probably, oh wow, probably I don't know. Yeah, because he's probably say the first other man that she has ever met, besides the other kids and children that live on that planet. So one thing that ends up happening is a disease is developed, and one thing that is they say, okay, we're gonna send teachers down there so you kids can be able to have a bit of an education and all. So yeah, I really think this was actually really good. I like the acting for all of it, really, honestly. I also like the little bit of details about it's a bit of a race to time, because they need to get their communicators back.
No, blah! Because if we don't talk to the ship, if you don't help us, there won't be any games anymore. There won't be anything. Nothing.
And all that, because, well, they also have to make sure that they get this disease fixed so they can also protect themselves, because, they're already adults. They could end up getting disease as well. And Dr. McCoy, he ends up, you know, just becoming a guinea pig for himself to try to say, oh, yeah, that stuff works. Don't worry. So, yeah, 2 great episodes from Star Trek, but honestly, what do you guys think? Put your thoughts and your comments down. Please, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. I'll see you later, guys. Hopefully y'all enjoyed today's Supercut, I guess. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. See you later.